Welcome back to the Cuba Data Science Channel. Today is Tuesday evening, December 1st. I'm getting rid of my random state report for the state of Connecticut. So let's just get rid of all this excess stuff right here. Back over here. Let's take all this stuff right here. This kind of sets up our environment. Okay, let's do this. Let's save this. Okay. Let's also change our plot size to 9. Okay, so let's come back over here now. First thing we do is we download our data and do a summary of cases and deaths. The data for this comes from the New York Times, by the way. For this change, California, Connecticut. Let's save this. Let's just run this to see what's going on. And let's run this. So you can see that currently Connecticut's averaging 439 cases per day with a max of 5,271. The average number of deaths is 18 with a maximum of 204. Let's come back up here and let's just do the okay. Forgot about that. Okay. Just as a reminder, we're going to put some little interesting here. Cancers. So you can see cancer deaths have continuously gone up in Connecticut since 2005, at least up to 2018. This is kind of interesting. Right? 59,000 deaths from cancer in Connecticut. Now we do the same thing with heart. Let's take a look at this now. This is heart. Okay. You can see that currently at 2018 they were having 62,547 heart-related deaths. And I do these two things. The reason I'm doing this is to keep some sense of perspective on disease-related deaths. Okay, it's easy to become hyper-focused only on a couple thousand deaths for COVID-19 and ignore the huge difference in the numbers of cancer and heart-related deaths. Okay, that's really what that's all about. Let's calculate the mortality rate. Maybe we can get some good news here. Okay, you can see that their mortality rate is under, well, this must be 5, 20, this is 10. So you can see that the average rate because of these spikes here is about 7, say. But look at this. Look how low the mortality rate is in Connecticut right now since July, August, since say August or September back in here. Not something you don't see talked about on the news all that much. Let's look at cumulative cases, cumulative deaths. Cumulative cases, cumulative deaths. No real surprise. You saw the first initial spike. It leveled off a little bit. Now about October, as began to climb again. Okay, those are cases. Deaths went up very steeply back in April. Then it kind of leveled off, and now it's starting to please. Look at this. Look how close this is to this line right here. So there's definitely a flattening here, but it's just beginning to pick back up now. What's this total deaths per day? Let's take a look at this here. Okay. So what you can see here is the daily cases are spiking again, but there's a lot of volatility. There may, in fact, been the Thanksgiving right there also. But the lowest curve says increase up to about between, say, 3 and 4,000. That's right here on average for cases. Deaths are much lower. 50. This is a 50 deaths per day line. So the deaths are actually looking much better. Okay, plus weekly and monthly deaths. Let's look at weekly and monthly deaths now. Okay, weekly cases. You can see a huge spike in cases compared to the first spike back in April. So that's not a good situation. But look at the difference in deaths. Look at this. The whole situation has flipped between spring and fall. Lots of cases, but very few deaths. Lots of deaths, but very few cases. So, my friends, this is good news. When we look at the big picture, this is good news. They're averaging maybe 125 deaths 1 week back. And here, outside this 1 week, they've been below 100 deaths for the week since July. Okay? Okay. Let's come down here then. Look at monthly cases. Once again, relatively low cases back over here for the month. This is 20, so this is well, 25,000 here. Cases back in April, but over 50,000 cases so far in November. Look at deaths. Look at the difference between the deaths back in April and May and all these deaths along in here. Interesting, huh? Right? What's this down here? Doesn't really change anything, does it? Massive cases, minimal deaths. Sure wish I could get the president's ear and have him take a look at some of these numbers. But anyway, so that takes care of that. Let's just see one more run from the top. Okay. Okay, that takes care of the report for Connecticut. Okay, so what should we do next? Let's first of all let's put a date in here. So let's take a look at Florida. I'm just going to run through 3 or 4 reports here, then just go to. Where's Florida? No Florida? Huh. Hmm. Okay, we can close this. And let's come back. Let's do one for Florida, which is kind of odd. I don't understand what's happened to it. Okay, well, let's go ahead and do an analysis for Florida in that case. As we always do, we'll create a new markdown file. Do a save. All right. So once again, we come over here and get rid of this. Let's come right back to the top and let's get all the way down to. Okay. So what is Connecticut's abbreviation? What is Connecticut's abbreviation? Okay. Where would the world be without? There we go. What's that? Yeah, go right. Heat the whole thing up. Be good. Heat the whole thing up. Let me see. Okay, these are cancer deaths by year. Okay, Connecticut actually did pretty good. He had a long string of very few cancer deaths, which is hard to believe. Okay, These are heart disease. Interesting. Connecticut, okay. Now we got that fixed. Let's come back over here to Florida then. No, I forgot. And okay, so we got back up here. Let's come down here. Let's get these numbers over here. Florida. Let's see, averaging 3,067 cases per day, 68 deaths. Let's come back over here, take a look at heart. Let's just look at their heart rates. I would expect Florida with a senior population to be up there pretty good with, with other countries, with other states. So, nope, we got to change this. Okay, you can see what happens here. The cancer related deaths has continued to increase. As of 2018, it was 45,281 cancer related deaths. Let's take a heart disease related deaths. Interesting. Wait, I didn't change this again, did I? Okay, 2018, he had over 47,000 heart disease related deaths. Interesting. Okay, now we get down to the mortality rate for Florida. The mortality rate's fairly low, apparently. This one spike here is kind of annoying. Let's do this. Let's come up here. Let's say 3, 0. Okay, so now we can see, let's come up here to 4. Get rid of the spike. Okay, now we get a little better picture here. They did have problem with 15s and 5 to 15 up here. But as of October, they started to decline. Now they're below the average. The average being maybe 2.75%. So now they're below 2.5, 2 or 3% average mortality rate. Take the cumulative cases. Take the cumulative cases and daily cases. So there's deaths, there's cases. Nothing really radical here, unfortunately. Okay. Okay. Cases are pretty much mirroring the national trend, interestingly enough. Deaths had a long decline back in August and September. Now they're starting to climb back up again towards 100 per day. Cases are also spiking. Oh, wait a second. I'm looking at the wrong numbers again. Nothing real surprising. Let's look at daily totals now. You can see the continued spike upwards in cases now. Okay, there we go. Very good. Okay, let's start with weekly numbers, monthly numbers. Weekly cases, again, kind of following following the national average with a huge spike in cases back in July. Okay, a new spike in October, November, December. Okay. And you can actually see overall on a weekly basis, they have had a long run of decline as far as deaths. Let's take a look at monthly numbers now. Monthly numbers, monthly cases. Well, it's, November is the second largest month for cases in Florida. The deaths of this in November, deaths actually saw four straight months decline in cases and deaths. So interesting. What's this down here now? Not quite sure what this is. Anyway, that takes care of this first part of this report for today. We'll be back on with a couple more states.